Hi Virgo, welcome to Spiritualista. This is your weekly energy forecast from the 22nd until the 28th of September. If you like a personalized deep dive reading, the link to my Etsy shop is below. And before we get to it, let's talk about this. So this is a half facial video. I'm just going to be saying this week and then you're going to get used to it. So this is me. I've introduced myself a couple days ago in the face reveal video, so I thought that I would try and continue doing this format because it just feels a little bit more personal and intimate to show my face. But however, I'm going to show the cards as well, as I always do, but we're going to start by introducing ourselves this way, and then I'm going to go into a top-down view so that you can see what the universe has in store for you with the cards. So let's get right to it here. Let's do a little pre-shuffle here and see. All right, Virgo. So please tap me into Virgo's energy from the 22nd until the 28th of September. Let's see here. Virgo, what do we have for you today? Virgo, please tap me into Virgo's energy, highest possible source. All right, one flip, what was that? All right, so we have the Seven of Pentacles as your present moment card. And you're being crossed by, oh, okay, the Three of Wands. And then crowning you is the Hierophant. Below you is the Knight of Wands. In your recent past, we have the Three of Swords. Oof. I'm starting to thinking within myself, what have I been going through? Because there has been some heartbreak for me recently, and I'm a Virgo, that's why I always have to put myself a little bit into the picture there without merging it in too much so that it becomes way too personal and not a general reading. But I bet some of you guys can relate for sure. Oh, okay, this is the near future. Okay, so this is the Ten of Wands. It's intense and it's carrying a lot of weight basically, which I can attest to as well personally here in this moment in time. Suggested approach is the Chariot, and then we have your surrounding energies and what you need to know with the Nine of Pentacles. And your hopes and fears is represented by the Six of Pentacles. And then we have your potential future here with Justice. And we have the bottom of the deck energy, which is the Knight of Swords. All right, guys, so let's get right into it. So Virgo, right now you're standing here. This is your present moment, and this is the energy of the Seven of Pentacles. So it's a reflective card. Like, it's that moment when you're stepping back and asking yourself if the things that you've been investing your time and effort and energy and attention into are really giving you the return that you want here. So there's patience here. But there's also questioning here. So you've been putting in a lot of effort. That's what it tells me here. And now you're measuring whether that effort is worth the outcome. And I can relate to that a lot. That's what I'm saying. Like with this channel especially, I can relate to that because I'm looking for a job. So I'm just going to give a little personal anecdote. I'm looking for a job right now. And it's just like I found something that I really, really want to do. But at the same time, I'm super concerned with if I'm going to be able to maintain the channel while working perhaps full time. Because it does take a lot of time to make these videos. And so I'm looking at the numbers, I'm looking at the stats on YouTube Studio, and like, is it worth it? Is it worth continuing? And it just, I love doing this. I absolutely love doing this, but then economically it's not sustainable. So I do have to have something else, which is why I'm looking for a normal job. So I'm not at the point yet where I can get monetized. So it's just, that's the energy, and that's how I personally as a Virgo can relate to this here. This is an example that you can probably take and apply into your own life, where you are right now in your life, where you're feeling this energy of like putting in a lot of work into something and then having to step back and reflect on whether it's actually paying off and if it's doing so as quickly as you would want it to. I'm not saying that I'm ungrateful, because I feel like this channel is going really fast and is expanding in a way that I would never have imagined. But at the same time, the rent is always due like at the end of the month. So it's that thing, you know, it's always that the stress with the deadline. So it kind of feels like that to me here, where you're questioning that a lot, you know, and you're going through those thoughts. And then you're crossed by the Three of Wands. So again, it's about vision. It's about looking outward towards the horizon and waiting for that expansion, exactly as in my case. So it's more future focused, right? And it wants you to grow beyond what's already planted here. So there's this urge here to just reach further, like, and step into this larger field of possibilities where they cross here, these cards, they highlight a tension between evaluation and expansion here. So on one hand, you're pausing and you're weighing your options and just doing lots of reflecting on what you've already built here. But on the other hand, you're feeling that pull to look beyond this garden here, your current garden that you're building here, you know, and it's imagine what's coming next. So, and also this energy, especially to me, like it can feel a little bit restless too, where part of you might want to like sit with what you've grown here, but another part of you is just ready to stretch into new territories here. So the key is to honor both sides and just give space for that honest reflection while also holding the courage to widen your scope. And another thing, this is what I'm doing too, like I have so many plans. Like I want to make a website, I want to start selling herbs that are witchy, I want to start making candles, I want to start doing guided meditations, you know. And there's just so many different branches that I want to grab at the same time. And it's this restless energy of wanting to do all at once and wanting to expand. But at the same time, there's this struggle of like time, basically. Like, and that I know time doesn't exist, but at the same time, time isn't infinite. So it's just, you don't have enough hours in the day in order to do everything. And then you need to reflect on which things are more important to prioritize. Is it the boring thing that will give you the money, or is it something that is gonna be a little bit more fun, but that you're not really sure if it's gonna land or not? So let me know in the comments if you're going through this energy. It would be really cool to connect with you guys over this and in what sense it's manifesting for you and your energy right now. So yeah, definitely some restlessness here and some need for expansion here, but at the same time a little bit of fear on which branch to grab first here. And then up in your mind here, in your crown, you have the Hierophant. So this card brings in the theme of structure and wisdom and tradition and like a little bit of orthodoxy here. So you might be thinking about guidance here, and I think you're either seeking it from a mentor or a teacher or a system, or even like a family member or a friend that is a little bit more rigid and structured. Or you could be stepping into that role yourself. And it usually shows up when you're contemplating the frameworks that you live inside of. And yeah, those could be grounded in anything really. Like it could be religious, it could be spiritual, professional, it could be cultural, you know. Could be different things with the Hierophant. Usually it's spiritual and religious with the Hierophant, but it could be anything as long as there's someone around you that is a little bit more rigid. And you see that person as a little bit more stable, so that you resort to that person when you feel scattered and when you feel like you're needing to be centered again. So that's what I'm feeling here. This is something that you're reaching out to these people right now, especially with this situation here, for getting some new, fresh perspectives that are more mature and getting some advice on that. So yeah, it tells me that your conscious focus is on aligning with like a larger and higher principle of truth here. And you're thinking about values and commitments and the places and the people where the structure helps you grow. So for some, this could be about committing to a path of study too, you know, and deepening into spiritual practice here. And for others, it can highlight loyalty to something that is established, like a career path or like a set of more like personal principles here. And then you have your foundation with the Knight of Wands. So that's the root, like that's your soul level, your subconscious. So, and this is a really fiery, like very passionate energy, which makes sense with like, oh, I want to make the candles, you know, I need to do this, I need to buy labels, I need to design the labels, I need to find the jars to put the wax inside. What wax am I going to buy? You know, it's all of that. It's that energy here that's like kind of fueling this whole tower here. So, and it's a fun energy. I'm not going to lie. It's a fun energy, but it can be a little bit overwhelming when you already have a lot of things to do, to constantly wake up with new ideas and just like want to put everything into action all at once here. So yeah, it's this really like strong drive to just explore and to pursue the things that excite you here. So even if your outer world like looks calm, deep down you're being sort of propelled and pushed by this restless spirit here that is all about going after what sparks life in you, rather than sitting around waiting and like overthinking things. So as a foundation, this tells me that your current reflections and decisions are fueled by a strong desire to just move and to create in order to get to experience more things here. And so, yeah, this is an interesting dynamic, because like your conscious mind is thinking about this tradition structure and this guidance, but your deeper current is restless and like really adventurous and like super eager for freedom. So one part of you wants to follow the framework while another part just wants to like jump out and like chase your passion and just like go after what excites you and just like go wild, basically. So this is a really productive tension here. It is though, but like, because it means that you're just not like blindly chasing the passion without this wisdom. This wisdom is what's actually grounding you here and like making you prioritize correctly, you know. And that's why it's important to have that mature advice, that mature, stable energy coming in there. So, and also it's not only the Hierophant, because that would mean that you're probably staying stuck in structure without energy. And now you're just like kind of learning how to blend that discipline with that fire, which is what makes this moment so important for you. And then in the recent past with the Three of Swords, like, not gonna lie, this is a card about heartbreak, as many of you probably know, and it's about disappointment. So it doesn't always have to mean like a breakup, like a literal breakup. Sometimes it's like a difficult truth, like it could be words that really hurt you, like a truth that was revealed that you weren't ready to hear. It could be like a situation that just like pierced through your expectations here. But what matters here is that the Three of Swords represents a moment where you just couldn't ignore the pain, you know, and something just became undeniable for you. And as difficult as it was, it did open space for honesty. And even if it left you feeling heartbroken, it also stripped away the illusions and just brought you face to face with reality, even if it was extremely painful and hard for you to do so. And then the Ten of Wands in the near future. So that's the weight of responsibility there. And that's just like the feeling of carrying a really heavy load, and it's effort, right? And it's also like, it's pointing to strain here. So it tells me that in the near future, you might feel the pressure, obligations, and commitments just like sort of stacking up, and you're going to start feeling overwhelmed by too many tasks all at once. So yeah, sometimes it's about taking on too much, and sometimes about the final push before completion. So the Ten of Wands usually signals that you're close to the finish line, even if the weight just, yeah, it feels extremely challenging here. So this is the thing, right, with like doing everything at once. And if I would start ordering the things for the candle, start ordering the pouch to put the herbs inside, and like start setting up the Etsy shop and doing all of that while doing the readings, while looking for a job, going to interviews and getting a job and starting work, it's gonna eventually lead up to this. So just one thing at a time, just channel the Hierophant there, and that's gonna stabilize this potential future here, or this near future here, a little bit more, so that you don't end up in this complete overwhelm due to this extremely hot burning fire here with the Knight of Wands that's just fueling all of these activities and this like bottomless creativity that you're going through here. So yeah, I mean, Three of Swords in the past and Ten of Wands, by the way, like they tell me that, yeah, you're resilient there. Like you've recently come through like an experience that brought some really deep emotional pain and a really difficult truth here. And now you're moving into a phase where you're carrying forward the responsibilities that remain after that moment. So this pairing suggests a test of endurance, sort of. Like the pain of the past has already shifted you, and now you're asked to keep going even under this pressure here. But the 10 is also an ending number. That's the thing with the 10 card. So it signals that this load, it won't last forever, right? There's a sense here pushing through like to a new chapter. So don't be concerned about that. It's gonna pass. And then suggested approach with the Chariot. I love seeing the Chariot there. Just gotta say that, by the way, because it's gonna make sense, right? So that's just moving with focus and intention, basically. So even if the Ten of Wands makes you feel like really weighed down, your best approach is to take charge and just direct your energy where you want it to go. And the Chariot, like it's about determination. Like it's about channeling your energy into like one clear direction rather than being scattered in your actions. So for you, that means choosing your path and just committing to it with confidence. And it's interesting because I just did a tarot reading. A Taurus reading. I'm doing a tarot reading now. A Taurus tarot reading. And yeah, it was a very similar energy. Just got to say that. It was a very, very similar energy of overwhelm. Theirs were a little bit more about balance and give and take. And you're going to get that too with the Six of Pentacles there. But definitely it was about overwhelm, a little bit of burnout energy and just being scattered and unfocused. And the Chariot was there too at the present moment. So it's all about that. You can still do the things, but just be more strategic about it and don't just like put everything out there all at once so that you're ending up in a position where you can't really manage the time that's being allocated to all the different tasks that are going on for you here. So yeah, definitely go for the path that's the closest to you and that's the most reliable to you right now. That's what I'm getting here with the Chariot. Yeah, and then the Nine of Pentacles and what you need to know. So this is a reminder that self-sufficiency and independence are available to you. So even when you feel pressure, like, you're building a life that reflects your effort and your values. And what you need to know is that you're cultivating this stability here. And like part of that stability is learning to appreciate your own progress, even when you're still in the middle of this journey here. And Six of Pentacles in your hopes and fears, again, reminds me of the Taurus reading. Yeah, that's the hope for balance, like in balance and giving and receiving, basically, where that could be in your relationships with your friends and your family. It could be like romantic connections, could be work, even like material support, where you just want fairness, you want reciprocity. And the fear in this position is that the scales just like could tip unevenly. So you could be giving more than you receive, or you could find yourself dependent when you want to be able to sustain yourself more independently here. And then justice in your potential future. So this is truth. This is like fairness restoring itself and just bringing you clarity. And that's the effort that you've carried with the Ten of Wands here, leading you into a future where balance is corrected here. And justice promises that accountability matters and that situations will align with truth for you. And it's a future where this clarity is going to replace the confusion here, and where the right outcomes are going to unfold through this honesty here. And then you have the Knight of Swords here at the bottom of the deck. So that's the base of the whole spread, right? So this is it's like the underlying energy here, and it's urgency, like it's directness, again, like with the Knight of Wands here too. Like we have two knights here that are very fast moving. And yeah, it's just this drive, like to speak truth and just to pursue the clarity quickly, you know. And beneath everything, like there's this restless push for action and communication, where yeah, it's like a really fast, like sometimes a little bit reckless moving energy, but it's also like it has a lot of conviction too. So this energy is fueling the whole reading, which does make perfect sense. So even, yeah, if you're on the surface you're looking to be a little bit more measured, this is what's actually going on. It's just like bang on, like we got to do it. We got to do it now. You know, it's just a little bit stressed here. So yeah, to summarize your week, like it's, yeah, we start here, right? So you're evaluating what you've built, and you're also like stretching your eyes towards the horizon and like reflecting and like trying to expand, and just, yeah, the universe is asking you to just balance your vision with some patience as well. And then the Hierophant is showing you that focus and structure and guidance like is going to be necessary for you, while at your root the Knight of Wands is like, yeah, this is constant restlessness and passion. So you're having to balance staying disciplined here with being passionate. And you just came out from this really painful disappointment here and this painful truth. And now you're going to end up in this place where you might feel the weight of responsibilities that are pressing down on you. So your approach is going to be the Chariot, which is choosing your direction and moving with determination here. And then around you with the Nine of Pentacles, it's highlighting independence and self-sufficiency, while this card here with the Six of Pentacles and your hopes and fears is just talking about your desire for fairness and what you give and receive. And justice is bringing you clarity and alignment here. And beneath everything with the Knight of Swords, yeah, it's just urgency. And it's a reminder that clarity usually arrives through decisive action. So the story here is about moving from reflection into more aligned action, where you face pain in the past, and likely this is a result of that too, because this is a way for you to distract yourself from this pain here, so you don't have to think too much about it, and now you're just being hyper productive instead. And yeah, like, I mean, it's gonna be okay. Like, though, I feel that the outcome here is promising you balance, it's promising you truth. So you're learning how to merge patience and drive, and just feel that freedom, but at the same time lean into structure, you know. So this is a week where effort leads you to clarity, and clarity is going to lead you to alignment. So yeah, it's also a week about balancing independence and fairness for you guys. And that's all I have for you today, Virgo. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope this reading resonated, and if so, please give it a like and let me know in the comments below which part resonated the most with you. And don't forget to subscribe for your weekly energy forecasts. Okay, bye!